I'm going to make a series of videos talking about the city of Calgary in Canada and what they did to me. I moved to that city in 2003, and after doing a spot of time in jail, I spent a year in jail for some drunken craziness with some people on Vancouver Island, and um, got thrown in jail for a year. And that's not the first time that I've been thrown in jail. I have been in jail a few times, and when I was young. The first time I was 16, and this last time I was in my early 20s. And it was just, I was an naive and alone young person on Vancouver Island, and I was easily swayed into the culture of crime on Vancouver Island in the 90s because it was fun and I needed money. So I would steal, especially food, because I didn't have. Sometimes I had people taking care of me if I could give them a welfare check, but usually I didn't. Lots of people lived like this on Vancouver Island in the 90s. Lots. It's a hippie community. We were hippie kids. We were kids of hippies. I was the child of a lunatic. Why am I explaining myself like this? I feel like I have to explain myself. I have a criminal record. There are police notes about me, and these things don't go away. And when they're written by people who think you are just a little prick. So, whatever you did or whatever you didn't do, these police notes are written by people who think you're a little prick and they want to nail you. Because you're out there stealing stuff and riding your dirt bike on the street and getting chased by the police and you don't care. Stuff like that. Okay? Now, this last time that they threw me in jail was for a year, and I had never spent that much time in jail before, and it was terrible. And I vowed that this was never going to happen to me again, and I left Vancouver Island. My good friend had also just been killed by the police. He was in a stolen car driving on a mountain, and the police pushed his car into a tree and killed him. So I was ready to just leave this crazy place and start a new life. And what did I get but another crazy place? It turns out that Canada is full of crazy places. And I ended up in Calgary. And I met my wife. And shortly after I arrived here, and I worked at different jobs, and I I found a nice position at Nestle Canada. And I should say, too, that my life on Vancouver Island, I started working towards a mature and respectable life before I left Vancouver Island. I had been on my own essentially since I was 14 years old, so I missed high school. So by the time I was 20, I was upgrading my high school and getting myself into my university program, computer science and psychology. And then this drunken slip up happened because you know people and they drag you around and you get trapped and stuck in doing things, and this incident happened and it interrupted my university study and I went to jail for a year. But now I'm in Calgary and I'm really continuing to fix everything up, and I'm getting my education wrapped up. I'm getting married. I'm working for a nice company. And I don't have a drug problem, and I never did. What I had on Vancouver Island was a friend's problem. Because it turns out that in Canada, this is a crazy place. And it's hard to live normally. Because people are nuts. The people around you are nuts. My friends were nuts. They were using drugs, some of them. Not my friends that I spent the most time with, but everybody in the area, lots of them are using drugs. At any rate, here I am in Calgary. I'm just minding my own business with my wife. We're married. We're just plugging along. She's from here. She's here from another country. She's not from here. She's struggling to make a new life for herself, and so am I. But the place that we're in is Calgary. And this place is nuts. The people are all nuts. Not like Vancouver Island nuts. Vancouver Island wasn't nuts. Vancouver Island was criminal. But sane. Some stupid things would happen, but the people weren't nuts. Even for young people. Because to me, stealing a motorbike, if you're a young person, isn't nuts. It's wrong, but it isn't nuts. These people in Calgary are totally nuts. And I'm not talking about your young people. I'm talking about the entire place. They're all nuts. Because they're hurting people. Physically. They're lying about people. And these are people who have positions of authority. The judges, the lawyers, the police, the children's services, the person at the store, the stranger in the parking lot, the stranger in their vehicle. These people, the person living beside you. These people all just want to tell you what to do and talk trash about you and smile in your face and take everything they can from you, whether it's your money or your dignity or getting you to agree with their assertions and needs to control you in some way, in whatever way. They're all nuts. These videos are going to be about my experience and not my personal opinions about these people who are nuts. I'm just going to talk about my experience and what they did to me. I arrived there in 2003. My wife had a baby in 2007. And I'm going to end this video here and start the next one with 2007. 4 years in Calgary now.